My wife never answered her phone in front of me. Not once. If it rang while we were eating, she'd quietly excuse herself. If it rang during a movie, she'd pause it, smile, and step outside. Even if it was raining. Even if it was freezing. She always came back 5 minutes later, pretending nothing had happened. At first, I didn't think much of it. Everyone deserves privacy. We'd been married for 9 years. I trusted her. Completely. At least, I thought I did. The first time it really bothered me was on my birthday. We'd spent the whole evening together. Dinner, cake, a terrible movie we'd both been making fun of. Then her phone rang. She looked at the screen. For just a second, the smile disappeared from her face. "I'll be right back." She grabbed her coat and walked outside. I watched through the window. She wasn't laughing. She wasn't smiling. She was crying. Actually crying. When she came back inside, her eyes were red. "You okay?" "Yeah." "Who was that?" "Just work." She smiled. The fakest smile I'd ever seen. After that, I started noticing things I'd ignored before. Her ringtone only went off once or twice a week. Always from the same contact. Always in the evening. Always. She walked outside. Never once did she answer in the house. Not even when I was in another room. One Friday I asked jokingly, "What is it? The CIA?" She laughed. "I wish." "What then?" "Nothing you need to worry about." That sentence should have reassured me. Instead, it did the opposite. A month later, we were having dinner with my parents. Halfway through the meal, her phone buzzed. She froze. Just for a second. Then she stood up. "Excuse me." My mom watched her leave, then looked at me. "Does she always do that?" I forced a smile. "Yeah." Mom frowned. "That's strange." I defended my wife immediately. She probably just doesn't want to interrupt dinner. But even as I said it, I didn't believe it. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because I thought she was cheating, because I couldn't think of a single innocent reason someone would leave the house. Every single time. Then something happened that changed everything. Around 2 in the morning, her phone rang. The ringtone echoed through the bedroom. Emily was asleep. Or, at least, I thought she was. The second it rang, her eyes opened. She grabbed the phone before the second ring, looked at the screen, then rushed downstairs barefoot. I waited 5 seconds, and followed. Quietly. I stopped just before the front door. It was slightly open. Cold air drifted inside. I couldn't hear the other person. Only Emily. Her voice was shaking. Then she said one sentence. The sentence that destroyed every bit of trust I had left. "No." A pause. Then, "He still doesn't know." ... My heart stopped. I stood there. Completely frozen. Who didn't know? What didn't I know? And why? Was my own wife talking about me like I wasn't supposed to hear it? I didn't sleep that night. Not even for a minute. I just kept hearing those words. He still doesn't know. Who didn't know? Me. Obviously. But, know what? By morning, I'd already convinced myself there was only one explanation. There was someone else. There had to be. Because what else could make my wife sneak outside in the middle of the night? The next few days, I started noticing everything. Not because she was acting differently. Because I was looking differently. Every smile felt forced. Every text message felt suspicious. Every "I'll be right back" suddenly had another meaning. Funny how fast your brain starts building a story once doubt gets inside it. Thursday evening. Her phone buzzed again. She looked at the screen. Her shoulders dropped. Without saying a word, she grabbed her jacket. "I'll be outside." I nodded. This time, I followed her. Not close enough to be seen. Just close enough to hear. She was standing at the end of our driveway. Her back was turned to me. I couldn't hear the other voice, only hers. No. A long pause. I understand. Another pause. Then, please don't call the house anymore. My stomach dropped. House? Why not the house? Who was she hiding from? Me? She turned around before I could hear anything else. I barely made it back inside. When she walked through the front door, she looked exhausted. I looked at her, wondering if I even knew the woman I'd married. That weekend, we visited her sister. Everything seemed normal, until her phone rang again. She immediately stood up. I'll take this outside. Her sister glanced at me, then looked away. Too quickly. She knew. She had to know. On the drive home, I couldn't keep pretending anymore. Does your sister know? Emily frowned. Know what? Who keeps calling you? Silence. She looked out the window. I can't talk about it. That was it. No denial. No explanation. Just, I can't talk about it. That night, I opened our phone bill online. I knew it was wrong. I knew it was an invasion of privacy. I didn't care anymore. One number appeared over and over again. Same area code, same number, twice a week, sometimes 3, always lasting just a few minutes. I copied it onto a piece of paper. The next morning, I called it. It rang once, twice, 3 times. Then someone answered. A man's voice. Calm, professional. Hello? I froze. He spoke again. Hello? I hung up. Immediately. My hands were shaking. A man. It really was a man. That evening, Emily found the piece of paper on my desk. She didn't yell. She didn't even seem angry. She just looked at the number, then at me. You called. It wasn't a question. I nodded. I did. She closed her eyes. For a second, she looked completely defeated. Not guilty. Defeated. Then she whispered something I still don't fully understand. I was trying so hard to protect you. Protect me? From what? I laughed. Actually laughed. A secret phone call with another man is protecting me? She didn't answer. Instead, she quietly walked upstairs. A minute later, she came back carrying a thick white envelope. She placed it on the kitchen table. Her hand rested on it for a long moment. Then she looked me straight in the eyes. Tears were already running down her face. If you're ready to know the truth, open it. My hands were shaking. The white envelope sat on the kitchen table between us. Emily didn't push it toward me. She didn't tell me to open it. She just sat there, crying. I'd never seen her look so exhausted. Not angry. Not guilty. Just tired. Like she'd been carrying something much heavier than a secret. Finally, I picked up the envelope. Inside were papers. Medical papers. My name. My doctor's office. Dates from almost 4 months earlier. I looked at Emily. What is this? She swallowed. Keep reading. The first page mentioned my annual physical. Normal. The second page didn't. It was a referral. Neurology. Memory evaluation. Psychological assessment. I frowned. I've never been to a neurologist. Emily slowly nodded. I know. What are you talking about? She took a deep breath. The day of your physical, the doctor called me. I stared at her. He accidentally listed me as your primary emergency contact. They found something during your cognitive screening. I laughed. Cognitive screening? She nodded. You remember that little memory test they asked you to do before you left? I barely remembered it. They said your results weren't normal. My smile disappeared. The doctor told me not to panic. He said it could be stress, burnout, lack of sleep, depression. He wanted more tests before saying anything. So why didn't he call me? He tried. You ignored 2 unknown numbers. I thought back. I always ignore unknown numbers. Always. The clinic eventually contacted me. They asked if I'd help convince you to come back. So every time your phone, it was them. She nodded. They kept updating me. New appointments, new test dates, new results. I kept asking the same question. Do we know for sure yet? And every time, they said no. I felt sick. So why didn't you tell me? Emily looked at me with tears in her eyes. Because I watched my dad spend 6 months believing he had a brain tumor. Before doctors finally discovered it was severe exhaustion. He stopped living. He gave away his fishing boat. Started writing goodbye letters. He was alive. He was healthy. But those 6 months, they destroyed him. So I promised myself, if there was even a chance your doctors were wrong, I wouldn't let fear steal months of your life. I whispered. So every time you walked outside. She nodded. I didn't want you hearing words like possible, abnormal, neurology, MRI, until someone knew they actually meant something. I looked down at the final page. The newest report, completed 3 days earlier. The words were simple. No evidence of neurological disease. Symptoms most consistent with chronic stress, sleep deprivation, and anxiety. Follow-up recommended. Nothing more. I couldn't breathe. Not because I was dying. Because for 4 months, my wife had been carrying the fear that I might. Alone. I'm sorry, I whispered. For thinking. She interrupted me. No. I'm sorry too. I should have trusted you. Her voice broke. I was terrified. I reached across the table. For the first time in weeks, she let herself cry. Really cry. Not outside. Not alone. With me. A month later, I finally asked her something I'd never thought to ask before. Why did you always go outside? She smiled through her tears. Because every time they called, I had to imagine 2 futures. One where you were okay, and one where I had to tell you that you weren't. She looked down at her hands. I never wanted those 2 futures to exist in the same room as you. Looking back, the biggest mistake either of us made wasn't the phone calls. It wasn't the secrecy. It wasn't even the suspicion. It was believing that protecting someone and trusting someone are the same thing. Sometimes they are. Sometimes, they're complete opposites.